Greetings everyone, and welcome to the 102nd Talking Stick Show. So today we have a special live in call-in show. We had one on the birthday last time. So I'd like to welcome the pool of co-hosts we have. We have the incredible Massey Maty Waller. Hello.
Hello guys.
Good to see you, brother. And we have back with us Amy Kruzik.
Hello everyone.
Hello, sister. And we have the great, the powerful Laura Massey.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here. Welcome, everybody in the chat as well.
Good to see you. So, today, guys, a live call-in show. So, I'd just like to quickly go around and just ask, how has the call-in shows been for everyone so far? Laura, how has it been going for you?
I love it. I love the interaction that we can get having people actually on the show, and it's a really good workout for our psychic skills as well.
Wonderful. And Matty, how's it been going for you so far?
Oh, I love it, Dale. And I've done enough sessions now, and yourself as well, and you get to realize that you don't have to pre-plan too much. You don't really have to think too much about what's going to happen. It always just happens as it's supposed to happen at the time. So, it's comfortable and pleasant, and I love it. I just love doing these kind of things.
Beautiful. Thank you, man. And Amy, how's it going?
Yeah, this is my first one, I think. So we shall see.
Before, as I remember.
Oh, have I? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. But it's always good to watch it as I was watching them live. It's just really good. I just enjoyed it. What you guys did.
Wonderful. So it's really fun for us. It's a chance to showcase our own skill sets as well. So everyone has their own unique skill sets, and this is a place where you can see them. Also, with each and every reading and people going through the healing, it gives you reading and healing as well. And we've seen it time and time again watching Andrew's shows in the past, the Adventures into Reality, where you'd watch it and the healing would resonate with you and you'd think he's speaking to you. It's exactly the same. We're allowing this flow and we're allowing the uniqueness of all of us here to feel our own trust again. And that's what reading is, guys. For all of those who are aware, is scared or worried about reading, all it comes down to is trusting yourself and who you are.
And you're bound to see some surgery going on as well. So some things moving, some funny noises. And,
yeah, he just can't help himself.
Matty was raring to go. It's like, you do what you want, brother. It's your show as well.
Get your shirt on.
We've worked together long enough now to have a good repertoire as well, so it's always exciting.
Wonderful. And for those in the chat as well, and for those listening, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, give it a like and give it a comment, because we really appreciate those. So let's begin, guys, and we'll get Gemma in first. Hello, Gemma.
Hello.
Where are you calling from?
From Hull.
Gemma's 30 minutes
Hull,
drive away
East
from
Yorkshire. That is right, yeah.
me.
Yeah,
So
a
how are
world
you doing?
away.
So how are you doing? What made you want to get a reading today?
I just feel a bit stagnant at the moment. I've been doing my meditations, daily meditations and things, and my little building my crystal grids and my protections, but I just feel like I'm stuck. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with my life. Basically, I'm at a crossroads.
What do you do now?
So
What do you do now, Gemma? Do you
at the
work
moment,
or
at the moment I'm a roofer's labourer, which is
Wow.
That's hard work.
Yeah. Mm.
Hard. Up and down the ladder.
Really hard work, yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
Wow.
And scaffolding. Yeah. So yeah, it's not my choice of profession, but it's hard to jump into something. I don't know what I want to do.
So what makes you feel
I think
blocked
I want to
then?
do something. I feel like, especially because I've worked with you and you with the Reiki and things, and I'd like to progress in that area, but it's in Hull. Nobody seems to get it. No one to be on my wavelength, so it's hard to connect Hull and try and explain how it works and stuff. I just get laughed at quite a lot.
So what energetic or spiritual courses have you done already? What have you learnt?
I've learned angelic Reiki with he's done some psychic surgery on me, and I think I'd like to progress along those lines.
Mm-hmm. But to support that, you probably have to have a like a full-time job also on, I'm guessing. Yeah, if you have to work.
Yeah, and it's really hard work, and it drains me physically and mentally. So it's hard to balance to be able to progress in my spirit whilst being physically broken most days.
Right, so this is something that I've done myself many times. Okay, so first of all, the obvious thing: why are you doing that job?
To pay the.
No, I mean, because we've got a slight delay going on here, so we'll have to just be patient with it. So what I mean is there are a plethora of other different careers or different jobs, different things that you can do. Why are you doing a job that's so physically demanding?
Enjoy. I do the physicality of it. It keeps me fit. It keeps me active, and it pays well.
It does. They do. Okay, so go ahead, Laura.
Sorry, the counterbalance is you're exhausted, so I'm guessing you've not got a lot of life force or energy left to do much when you get home in the evening, yeah?
Exactly, yeah.
This is one of those things where you have to.
So it's a case.
It's quite a bad delay.
Gemma, do you want to turn off your video? Yeah, turn off the video. Yeah. And that should clear it up. So, yeah.
Say something now.
Now. Yeah.
Is that better?
Say something. Yeah, that's much better, yeah. So
okay, go ahead,
mate. Go ahead, mate.
I'm going to say something and then you give me a response, okay? So tell me when you hear this.
I heard that.
That's quite a long delay. Okay, we'll do our best, yeah? We'll do our best.
Is
So,
there any way? Are you on a Wi-Fi, Gemma?
I am, yes.
Can you go close to the Wi-Fi as possible? As in, if you're at the other side of the house, you'd got to be at the
I'm
other
right
side
next.
because. Oh, okay. So
I'm right next to it. I'm right next to my box.
okay, so what we'll do then, we'll just waffle on for a minute and then give her a chance to respond. Okay, so
yes.
so this is one of these things, isn't it,
Yeah.
Laura, where people that haven't actually gone on to this extended mastery process, and what that actually means is daily practice, but talking from half an hour to an hour to an hour and a half a day, 5 days a week, continuously for months and years, where you actually find out what it is that spirituality actually means. Because there are so many different layers and levels. There's the abilities and the skills, but in order to harness those, you have to strip away the pieces and parts of yourself that are in the way of you being able to express more light. And it's about how you generate that source light through ritual, ceremonies, meditation, and an ongoing spiritual process. And then those gifts and those talents will evolve. But the problem is that it's very difficult to do, not only just as a single parent, but when you're doing a career that's taking all of your life force from you. Right, Laura?
Yeah,
And this is
absolutely.
one of those things. And it's very difficult for some people to see how important that spiritual progress could potentially be for them in the future when you haven't actually experienced it. And so it's very easy to say, well, this is doing this right now, but it does take a bit of a wider gaze and a bit of faith, So what's blocking you from seeing that future process?
I'm not sure. I mean, I do ritualistically get up an hour earlier every morning, about 5 a.m. and I cleanse myself, I put protection on myself, and I meditate in the bath while I'm getting ready for work. And I do that every single morning. And then I try and do it on an evening, even if it's just putting binaural beats in while I go to sleep, just to do a bit of brain training. But I mean, I do want to progress further into it. But like I say, being a single parent and having to juggle all that, it's scary, because I know to do it fully, I would have to quit my job and fully immerse myself in it. And that scares me, especially with the price of everything these days. So yeah.
Gemma, as I'm reading your energy field itself, there's just a full lack of motivation going on with you. That you're not able to find a start. It's like a car chugging away, and it's about how can you be motivated. And what you're doing each morning is actually turning against you. It's not working for you anymore. So you're going to have to find a variety of different things. Not meditating every day. Something enable you to the out loud prayer where you say, "Today I'm choosing to live. Today I'm choosing to make a choice. Today I'm choosing to learn something new." There's just this lack of motivation within your spine and all the heart. As I'm shining a light on the heart, the light's not getting in at all. So it's about how you can express yourself and open up like concrete, just banging all the concrete off yourself, how you can really fully feel yourself again. Because so your social life, what's your social life like in going out there? Separate from work.
I don't have one at all. I don't have a social
So there you
life
go.
at all at the minute.
Yes. So this is something you're going to have to put some effort into, is having a social life, having friends who support you, potentially getting the judgment off where you live. And I'm sure there's loads of places around you what do have spiritual communities. I'm aware of quite a few in Hull. Get yourself out there and start meeting new people. You're really needing in this kind of like new experience, new inspiration. Is that something that resonates with your sister?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I write poetry. I've been published, and I did actually start doing poetry readings at events, and then so I don't know why, but I just lost my confidence in doing that as well, which was quite sad, because when I'm being creative, it makes me feel alive, and I think that's my problem. I need to do something that have a creative outlet to make me feel like I'm doing something that makes me feel good.
And bring a bit of joy back into your life as well. It's what I'm feeling, Gemma.
And carry, yeah, it does. It's I've always been a creative person, so need to find my passion again. I think that's what's lacking.
Then you need to turn that passion on yourself. You need to turn that creativity on yourself. You need to turn that art on yourself. All of these things that you enjoy, these expressions, turn them on yourself. Make the poetry into prayer. It's about upping the game. And when it comes to doing revocations, when it comes to doing rituals and ceremonies, it's about the flow that you develop, the way that you set them out, the preparation that you do, the amount of them that you do, and over a longer journey, with just the intention of doing it for the sake of doing it, a greater plan will arise. But it's about tapping into that light, tapping into that source, and that, because right now, if you're stagnant and you feel stuck, and we can all feel this energy on you, it's sticky, holding you down. It's stopping you from absorbing light. Obviously with the practice that you have right now, it's not working for you. Otherwise you wouldn't be in this situation. So it's about rewriting what practice means to you.
Can I jump in here for a sec?
Amy, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So with everything that you've said, Gemma, being a roofer, which is hard work, it feels like there's such a lot going on and you don't know where to stop or where to start. It feels to me as if you have all this, you do your spiritual ritual, but I see it breaking it down. Because it feels so much. It feels so much, and you want to do that, and then you want to go to work, and you want to take care of your child, and all of this. Where if you just break it down, 10 minutes, and then do it. It doesn't have to be an hour bath. It doesn't have to be an hour revocation. Yeah. You can do 10 minutes here in the morning, and have time to yourself, and have time for your child, and then go to work. And I was thinking even doing it when you're on your break, if you have breaks during the day. Do a little there.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Amy.
Yeah. What sort of Gemma, what sort of self-care practices do you have? Because you do a very physical job. So what do you do to take care of your body? You're obviously trying to take care of your spirit and your mind, but what about your body?
I do saltwater baths, and I try and do a nice shower in the morning, like a nice cold shower in the morning. That's about it.
What about massage? Can you get yourself a massage? I mean, you think of the type of work you do and how grueling that will be for your body. How old are you, Gemma?
I'm 42.
Okay.
Isn't there any way you can change career, man? Seriously, isn't there any way that you can just get a different job that pays the similar money or similar sort of money, where you get more time, more energy for yourself? Sorry, Laura.
No, it's fine.
I mean, even 2 jobs, even 2 little, that equal, that are just, you go home, you're done. You go home, you're done. You can relax.
Yeah, I was looking into doing copywriting. I did do a journalism degree. I was looking into doing copywriting, working from home, but then I feel like if I'm stuck in my house all the time, then that could have a negative effect on me also.
Or could it totally work in your favour for your greater growth?
Yeah.
If you just learn to create sacred boundaries within yourself and your environment, and enforce those boundaries over time through your journey, and then co-create something different. Maybe when you're out of the house, then it will be a gift you're giving to yourself, not draining all of your fucking energy.
So Gemma, as I look into you, I can. There is a depression within you at the moment. And there's like a huge amount of shadow within your spine. It's going into your brain. It's going all around your heart. It's like this it's like this suffocation frequency where your spirit's wanting to come out, but there's just something holding you down. What is it like for your
fear of failure?
Yes. And what are you scared of failing from?
Definitely. Just putting myself out there. I mean, I had a publishing house interested in publishing a book of my poetry with my artwork alongside it, and that was like 6 months ago now, and I still haven't put it together and sent it to them, and I don't know why, because that's my dream, so I don't even know why I haven't done that.
Because you haven't got any energy in the energy tanks to do anything, because you're a single mum and you're working a man's job in your 40s as a woman, and you've got no spare energy for fucking anything else in your life, man. You're always running on an empty, so you'll never be able to recharge that then you've got to do it all again the next fucking day.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a Groundhog Day every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's some adjustment needed in your 3D life before you can get much more into the spiritual work, because you're just not going to have the joy behind the spiritual work, and that's what's really needed to make it mean something. I'm not saying stop it, but I'm just saying you can run that alongside your life. Plenty of people do spiritual training, whatever, alongside an ordinary job. But as Maty said, there really are no energy reserves in you. So you've got to somehow get that 3D life, get your life more into balance, and start incorporating the spiritual work then.
Because absolutely everything that you do right now outside of the kids and of work is absolutely a chore to you. You've got to put that, look into your reserve tank and do that. That means that any of your spiritual processes right now are a chore to you, not because you're doing it wrong, but just because of the way that your life is. And that's going to make it so difficult for you to progress. It's not impossible, just difficult. It's like, can you, even in that absolutely exhausted state, even if you start to slowly look to other avenues and begin to get yourself out of it, we're not expecting you to turn around tomorrow and have this fixed, but begin to just change your perspective and try to find the joy in the spiritual practice, knowing that spiritual practice is going to become more important to you, and that it will naturally progress you to an environment where it will be able to flourish. But it's about finding that joy.
Yeah, because when I first started doing it, and for about a year into it, it was like I lived and breathed it. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But it's like the past 6 months, I've just gone right downhill. And I think it's actually even manifesting into something more in my house. I've started noticing a bit of darkness in my home, sort of thing, like doors slamming. Like I don't know if that's my depression that's manifesting into something more.
This is one of these things. This is one of these things. Again, this seems so harsh, and I really don't mean it this way, okay? But it's the truth of the situation, is that the spiritual volts that you're putting out are 9-volt batteries at best, okay? And you need to amp up the light, the amount of light that you can take in, because the energy inside your whole body is dense right now. As we do these, we do surgery at the same time as well. And I feed light into people as we're talking to them. And it's very difficult. I'm having to just go into very individual places and feed the light individually rather than get a flow in. This is about source connection. This is about self-care, self-love, self-nurture, and all those things that you're just not able to give yourself at this point. And when you don't have that in your process, you don't have that power behind it, anything can just come into your experience. Anything can come in and out of your experience, and it will do, because there's not just ghosts, there's ancestral energies and things like this as well. It's a big thing to go through the spiritual journey, to actually become free of a lot of these kind of feeding or haunting scenarios. It takes many months of dedicated ritual and ceremony. And when I mean months of it, where you specifically target prayers and you hit from every different angle. You're hitting these issues that are arising, and the visualizations that you do to create the sacred space around your home and yourself, it must be diligent and powerful and ever evolving. It must constantly change and grow. So it's about amping up the voltage, but it's for you right now, as Dale said, it's about motivation. It's about, can you actually see the point in that? Really, honestly, truly see the point in that and want to do it.
And as I'm tuning into your grandmothers, they're talking just about how you need to open up to the field of plenty again. And there's kind of like you've blocked yourself and limited yourself. And it's about how you can see that unlimited point of view again, how you can get yourself out of the low volts to the higher volts, because there's like a lack going on all around you, that everything's in lack. Your soul's in lack. The life's not good. This is lack. That is lack. It's about allowing yourself. How can you change the frequency of the now by allowing prayer to be part of your life on a daily basis to motivate yourself, allowing songs and singing to motivate you. I can see you dancing and singing. You've got a very strong connection to dancing, and the grandmothers are telling me how great you are at being a dancer. You're a sister dancer. Have you done dancing before, Gemma?
Yeah, I've always danced and sang. My brother actually is he's just asked me to sing on one of his records. He's just been signed by BBC Introducing, and he's sent me everything I need to do, and I just can't find my voice, which is really annoying me.
Right. So how about we look at where these programs come from?
Yeah.
You know, we've all given you a big bad telling off now. All that's done. Right. So looking back, using your own genius, your own hindsight, foresight, where did this all start for you?
Probably the breakup of my relationship, I think.
How long ago was that?
About 10 months ago.
Okay. That's the
I'm
depression.
going to be honest with you as well. During the relationship, you still had that, and when the relationship broke up, you were kind of masking it, and it was just opened up even more. So when you're actually in that relationship, for how long you're in, it was still there, but you were masking it and not accepting it. And that relationship showed you that you've got stuff to heal now. And that person who was in a relationship with you was there as a teacher spirit to show you, right, you've got to fix your shit. And I know those are harsh words, but that's the reality of it. Breakups, the person is showing you something. Like, I had an awful breakup 15 years ago. It was the biggest spiritual growth of my life. It really was. I was heartbroken for ages. And in that heartbreak, I found myself. I realized that I had to love myself. I wasn't looking for people to love me. It was all to do with that self-love. And that's what relationships do. They give you love, but they're there as teachers for you to love yourself. And this is the whole essence of this reading for you. How can you start beginning to truly love yourself, truly nurture yourself, get yourself back onto a course where you're feeling happiness again? You're feeling value to who you are as a soul, because you are valuable. You've got to remind yourself that every day, how fucking valuable you are.
Yeah,
there's some hard disconnection going on there as well.
I have taken a lot from the breakup, and I actually do think he was sent to me to teach me how to love myself, because I've never loved myself and always relied on someone else, and that's why I've disconnected from my social life, just to try and do a bit of shadow work and try and get to the core of things. And I've done quite a bit in a child. Where
how did he teach you? How did he teach you about love? What did he teach you about?
Not to rely on someone else loving me to feel whole. Like, I need to love myself first.
And how's that going with the job that you've got?
Not great.
Exactly.
Laura, can I bring you in for here? So as someone, obviously your situation was different, but what advice do you have for her? Because you were in a long relationship, came out of it, and you grew beyond words when you came out of the relationship. So is there any words of advice you could give her?
Who ended the relationship? I missed that if it was said. Who ended the relationship, Gemma?
In the end, it was me, but I mean, he'd ended it quite a few times along the way, and I kept taking him back. And then I just thought, I can't keep putting myself through this. So.
Yay! So what a victory, eh? So there, you found the courage, commitment, and discipline to step out on your own path. Finish your karma with him, and step out on your own path. So you've already had a victory. You just probably don't see it as that.
Yeah, I think it was harder because we were friends for 20 years before we got into a relationship. I think it's more of a losing my friend more than anything. But I did recently speak to him, and we got a lot off our chests, and we made peace. So that has helped me.
Good.
Move on.
So you're in a more peaceful place with that relationship, but what has given you slightly, you've got this heart disconnect. So I think this is also related to your voice. So because your voice is between your mind and your heart, and your voice is fed by your mind and your heart. And if you've got this heart disconnect, you're not going to be able to find your proper voice. So which can disempower the spiritual work you're doing.
So how about this? How about can you sing from a broken heart?
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Can you sing from a broken heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then do it. You know, come from the perspective where you are. Don't
I'm not
expect to
doing
be
it
in a
right
place
now.
of absolute joy right now, because 10 months is no time at all.
Mhm.
I've just been through a similar sort of thing,
No.
and it's over a year now, and but it's still like there's layers and levels to it. Disconnect doesn't just happen straight away.
Yeah.
You know, it's an interesting scenario. So, you know, just learn to sing from where you're at, and you might find that will be a heart opening that you're looking for.
Mm.
Just let it out.
Yeah.
Sing sad
Yeah,
songs, man.
I
Sing
agree.
sad songs. Put them on and sing along
Yeah.
to start.
But
Favourite
Amy's
sad
really,
songs.
Amy
I
works a lot from her heart.
I
Amy,
actually did that.
sorry.
Oh,
I actually did stand in my kitchen and sing quite a lot of sad songs last night, and I felt better this morning.
There we go.
That's brilliant. Amy, can you give Gemma some ideas for heart reconnection? Because you're very good on heart work.
wow. What I do to reconnect is I ask questions to my heart, and I listen to it. And, you know, even though I might not believe it, I believe it for that moment, because you have to start building the trust in yourself to be able to move forward. Because when you talked about your dream of the publishing company, I think we kind of bypassed that, because that is like your dream. Like, what makes us give up on our dreams? If that truly was your dream, is it truly your dream? Ask yourself that question. Is publishing my poetry truly my dream? Or is it just something that's easy for me and I can do it? Could also be a dream, but I don't know. I felt like I had to revisit that. Because why would you give up on your dream? What made you say, no, I don't have time, when we can make time?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I think it's that I've always suffered with fear, fear of rejection, fear of failure. That's always been my biggest downfall. So I'll get so far on a project and it's about to like take off,
Yeah.
and then I'll just stop and give up, just because of the fear. I always give in to the fear, and that is my biggest downfall.
And those are the guideposts that you need to see for your heart. Those are the guideposts that say, hold on, this is my dream, move over. I'm going to keep going. If I'm rejected, I'm rejected. I know that sounds easy to some of us, but I've worked on that too, being afraid to even to come on, you know, YouTube, you know, so it just is that push for yourself, and that push for that love of yourself that supersedes everything else. I don't know, you know,
Gemma, I'd maybe write a plan for the future, like a calendar, just something what you can give you perspective and dreams, because at the moment you're going in an ancestral karmic circle over and over again. You're starting to build a little bit of energy, have a dream, then all of a sudden you just throw that dream away, go into depression, build the dream up a little bit, start doing stuff towards the dream, and giving up on it. It's like a classic circle going over again. So it's about how you can actually start structuring yourself, learning discipline, making sure you have a schedule and go, I need to stick to this schedule today. Actually learn the essence of going through a schedule 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, until the point where you learn that discipline of how much time and intention you'll need to get yourself out of this depression loop, because you can fight it. It just requires you to actually, like Rocky Balboa, fight. You've literally got to fight your way out of this. And go ahead, Laura.
And I have many times before fought myself out of it, because I do suffer. I have always suffered with depression, and I do always seem to fight my way out of it. And it is getting less and less, but I'm just in a bit of a funk at the moment.
So also, you know, some of this inner work that you're doing, you know, if you could, do you do any journaling at all?
I haven't recently, but I used to keep a dream journal. It's still next to my bed, but I haven't written in it for a few months now.
Okay, so I'm not, rather than a dream journal, I'm talking about a journal which is really where you're going to do your inner work, and you're going to write down how you feel about something, and you're going to try and trace back some of these, like you've got this fear programming going on, the lack of self-esteem, the lack of loving yourself. All that needs to be followed back. Whether you do it when you're in a meditation, it's really helpful if you can do it in a journal. I often talk about doing flow diagrams, going back to the next stage and the stage before when you felt fear, and tracing it back to where you came from, and doing the work maybe on the inner child or the past you that started to take on this fear program, because that's stopping you going forward. And it also means you're arguing for your limitations the whole time. So you don't want to work from home because you think you'll get whatever stuck indoors, but it actually at the moment that's looking the better option health wise for you to be working from home rather than doing this job. And health wise includes your spiritual work, you know, because the more you're able to put into that and get the balance between your 3D life and your spiritual life, if you like, when you get that balance better, things are going to change for you anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like when you say I can't do this or whatever, really investigate that. Can I really not do it? Can I really not work from home? Would it not be the better option, even if it's a bit of a pay cut? I know that's hard. I mean, I do understand that can be really difficult. But, you know, sometimes when you take the plunge like that, it's a bit of a risk, but then you're switching on more of your spiritual work. And, you know, when you start calling in your ancestors and your guides and whatever to help you, you're going to start reeling in some of that unseen help to help you in this. And it does manifest. It does manifest in your 3D life.
Gemma.
I agree.
Go ahead, Amy.
No, I was just going to ask Gemma, how old is your child? Do you have one child?
He's 13.
He's 13.
Yeah.
Do you see him taking on some of your programs? At 13, he's kind of pre-adolescent.
No, I mean he's quite introvert, which I am, but I'm an introvert stroke extrovert, so I'm like an anomaly. So like to people who don't know me, they think I'm really out there, but people who really know me know that I am like an introvert, really. It's just that it's.
I guess what I'm asking. I guess what I'm asking is just that. Of course, our kids take on our programs. They see us. They see what we do every day. They see everything we do.
Amy, I'd probably explain the word program, the meaning to Gemma.
Oh, okay. What other word?
Conditioning. Sometimes.
Conditioning.
Yeah.
Does he?
You see, I try not to allow him to see my darkness when I'm in my dark places, and I'll go out my way to like be extra. So, and I always encourage him to not be a sheep, be a shepherd, because I don't follow crowds and things. That I do things my own way, and he's at that age where he what else is doing, and even though to me he wants to do like things like dye his hair blue, and I'm like, yeah, do that. Oh no, because people will laugh at me. I'm like, fuck everybody else. Who cares what people say? And I try and instill that in him because that's how I feel. I mean, I don't swear at him, but
Gemma,
he does get consumed by what other people think.
So Gemma, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. He completely knows you're depressed, and he completely knows what you're going through. And his dream world is completely affected by it, because that's what happens as a parent. You have an ancestral responsibility, and it's whether you're responsible or you're avoiding it. And at the moment, he's taking on your depression as well, and he's learning that depression is the way to live. So my advice for you, because I've been there, I've avoided my ancestral responsibility when I had kids before. If you start making these changes now for yourself, for your children, for your clan, is he's going to see you elevate yourself, and that's going to inspire him to want to elevate himself more. And this is all the roles we have as parents for everyone listening now. We all have responsibility, everyone listening. If you're avoiding your responsibility, maybe it's time to start tuning into really who you are. If you're in depression, make the fight to get out of it, because we all have that responsibility for the future generations. We need to fight for this world. And sometimes it gets dark, sometimes it gets horrible. And this is the nature of these call-in shows, to inspire you to find that truth again. And with you, Gemma, it's just going to take making that conscious effort each day, counseling the shit out yourself each day. Know when you're avoiding the truth, know when you're avoiding it, and so on.
Even if
I would say shadow work, not right now. Okay.
No.
You're not strong enough for shadow work. Why don't you learn to generate light, focus on light, and the light will shine on the shadows. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's the truth. It will expose the shadows. But don't be sitting doing shadow work as your own spiritual work, because you're just going to absolutely, you're going to tear yourself to shreds.
And we need to put,
I think that's probably what's been happening to me, actually, because I've been trying to do shadow work, and it has had a negative effect on me.
Yeah, everything. A lot of the stuff you're trying to do is going to have kickback on you at the moment, right? So what we need to do is put you back in the driving seat, because part of this depression is you feel like you're out of control a bit and you're a bit overwhelmed. So what one change could you make? What one change could you make in your life? Okay, cool. Yeah. So that is a big change, but it puts you back in the driving seat.
I would highly advise, don't just quit your job. Make sure you've got a job waiting for you when you've quit your job, because you need
I will do
that. Tomorrow you go to work
change.
Like, fuck this.
Yeah, change jobs.
Change jobs.
But do something. Action something. Action something. Because when you start to action it, you're going to feel more in control. And when you feel more in control, you're going to be in control of the other changes you need to make in your life. And it's going to make you feel good. They're going to be like victories for you.
I have actually been applying for a few copyright jobs, so I'm waiting to hear back on them. So I already know what I needed to do. I just needed a kick. Just a kick up the ass.
Well, just a reminder of who you are, Gemma.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're a wonderful divine feminine. You've got it in you to have that spiritual path and to have a life where you work. Just do one alongside the other, rather than leaping from that into, offering Reiki. It's a gradual thing. You're going to have to do it alongside your working life for the moment. But what a huge step if you can do both and not be so tired from your day's work that you haven't got any energy left for any joy, for any spiritual work.
And also you need to come off of the masculine energies. Okay, you're bathed in masculine energies right now, and you need some gentle girlfriends to cry and cackle with, and over a glass of wine or something,
and dance, sing and dance,
sing and dance, all those other beautiful things you ladies love to do together. And I think you need some of that in your life.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
We're gonna have to switch over. Before we go, what I'd like to do is I'd like Laura just to get you in a few prayer words by allowing you to see happiness again.
Okay. Yeah. So do you want to repeat after me, Gemma? Is that a good idea, guys, with the delay or not?
Go ahead.
Okay. So if you can repeat after me, Gemma. So I, in this ever-present moment of now.
I, in this ever-present moment of now.
As this beautiful, divine, feminine being.
As this beautiful, divine, feminine being.
Recognize I have so much to offer the world.
Recognize I have so much to offer the world.
But the first thing I must do is offer it to myself. So I'm going to make a promise to myself.
So I'm going to make a promise to myself.
I'm going to love myself each and every day.
I'm going to love myself each and every day.
Each and every second, each and every minute, each and every hour.
Each and every second, each and every minute, and each and every hour.
I'm going to pour love into myself in every way I can.
I'm going to pour love into myself in every way I can.
And this is not selfish.
And this is not selfish.
This is recognizing that I am a being who's worthy.
This is recognizing that I am a being that is worthy.
Worthy of love.
Worthy of love.
And I'm going to step forward on a new path today.
And I'm going to step forward on a new path today.
Where I put myself first.
Where I put myself first.
I take care of mind, body, and spirit.
I take care of mind, body, and spirit.
And I will make new choices from my heart mind.
And I will make new choices from my heart mind.
And I will be in control.
And I will be in control.
Of my own life.
Of my own life.
With the life choices I make.
With the life choices I make.
By putting myself first.
By putting myself first.
Aho.
Aho. Thank you. That made me feel I've got the cheesiest grin on my face now.
Hey, you flipped.
You're a warrior. You're a warrior, as the lovely Judith said in the chat. You're a lioness. Yeah.
I felt something stir inside of me, and now I can't stop smiling.
Good. It's the memory of self-love that you've forgotten.
Yeah,
You.
I had. But thank you so much. That was beautiful.
It's a pleasure, darling. That's a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Gemma. You've been a great teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gemma.
Thanks, Gemma. Take care.
sister.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, darling.
Appreciate you all. Thank you.
You too.
And you.
Bye-bye.
And you.
So next we have
Bye.
on is Jordan. And just for all of those commenting as well on the chat about wanting to call in, we've had a few technical issues about getting callers in and getting people set up. So we've had to get the callers in at the moment. We're going to be doing something on Discord where you're able to actually call in from the live show. That's just in the works at the moment. So I do apologize if people want to call in. So we do have that in mind, and we will sort that out. So next we have Jordan onto the show. I will grab you in. Hello, brother.
Hello, everybody hearing me?
Yes,
Loud
we
and
are. Yeah. How you doing?
Very well.
Good. Jordan's our funny guy. I love his Facebook posts for anybody who's on Facebook.
I just see it, it speaks to me, and I post it.
Yeah, I like it. So what's going on, Jordan?
Oh, I'm just very grateful to be here with you fine folk today. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Just love everything you guys do. I've picked apart Andrew's material as often as I can over the years. I'm what I would call a natural mystic. Just my own experiences have shown me that there's way more going on here, and the only thing that makes sense is the things that you guys seem to talk about. I'm currently just trying to find out where I'm at on my map and which direction is north for me.
Which direction's north? So how are you feeling at the moment within yourself on a day-to-day basis?
Daily, I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy, but I do feel a little lonely and a little lost sometimes. Like I'm searching for friends and family. Like we got business. Like I'm supposed to be somewhere doing something.
And so what do you do for work, Jordan? What's your job?
I've actually been out of work since around 2019 and have been kind of just enjoying moving around from Airbnb to Airbnb. I would love to actually do something for a living and financially support myself more than I am now, but I've just can't work for a corporate entity or punch somebody else's time card. And I'm trying to also figure out what particularly that means to me.
So what I'm picking up with you is that there's an inner voice which needs to be heard in you, which you're not connecting to at the moment. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you just to close your eyes, and I'd like you to go inwards and ask what Jordan wants. And just allow the first response just to come out of you.
I think I want to know more about how to discern truth from fiction. I am also a recovering light worker, and most of my education is a YouTube education. And there's a lot of confusion of what I should be doing or shouldn't be doing, and
Yes,
very much tangled in that as well.
Yeah, you've lost who you are with all of these ideologies and everything you're following at the moment. And now is the time to slow it down. And I highly recommend you find a job. I highly recommend you find somewhere to stay, somewhere to really allow your roots to be rooted in one place for a long period of time. Because as I scan your energy, it's just there's one idea, the next idea, and the inner voice is like, I'm here, but you're not listening at all. Does that resonate with you, that scatteredness of one thing over the next? And yeah,
very, very much so. Yes, spot on.
It's sort of taking away from a bit of spiritual stability for you as well. So a bit like Gemma, it's getting your 3D life a bit more sorted, a bit more stable, a bit more balanced, because you've got a very nomadic life at the moment, I'm seeing. And I think that it gives you a bit of disconnect rather than connection. So being in one place, as Dale's saying, and this thing of getting roots in one place is really important, because then you've got somewhere where you can commune with your ancestors, or the ancestors of that land. You know, you're going to start getting more stability, get it in your seen life, and then get it in your unseen life too. And then you can start manifesting or start co-creating. But with all these moving energies, it leaves you a bit discombobulated. So I'm not surprised you're confused, because you're probably, if you keep moving on, you're mixing with different energies each time, and you've got to assimilate those energies and decide where you're at and what you want to do. And then maybe you're off again. And so it doesn't give you that sort of anchor point, right? An anchor point for you to anchor your life into, seen and unseen.
Makes very much sense. That's exactly what I've been feeling for quite a while. This situation is very synchronistic. I'm kind of just like in it. And that's what I've been striving for quite a while now.
So,
but I would greatly like a base of operations and a place to put my roots down, so I can do that type of work for myself and for even the property itself.
So how long have you been listening to Andrew's material?
Off and on since 2013 at least.
Off and on.
Oh.
So are your gaps in between, are they months or are they years?
More like days, in my opinion. I see a lot of his material. I just
good. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just poking and prodding and finding my way through.
Good.
You know? Because so what is your daily practice? What does it actually look like for you? Do you have a set daily practice?
Not an entirely ritualistic one. I've been nervous about what to do that isn't entangled in some other light worker mess or some other darker mess. I've just tried to stay as light and as airy as I can.
So hang on. So would it be safe to say, right, the position that you're in, is it because of all of the information that you assimilated that frightened you into making choice points that you thought you had to be away from, protected from, or that you were in fear of what possibly could be in your environment outside of you?
I'd say it used to be the case. That was definitely playing a part.
So how come you're living this lifestyle that you are now? How come you're in this position that you are now? What brought you to be a traveling nomad doing nothing?
Just refusing to do it the way that they teach in school or preach in church.
Now that's still conspiracy, right? That's still conspiracy led. Do you understand where I'm going with this, right? That's
Sure.
still connected to all of the, even the gooky spiritual stuff like flat earthers and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That way of thought comes from that training. It's the training that you got to the way you looked at reality from training, from looking at this particular type of material that you're still using in your mind now to govern between what's good for you and what isn't.
I'm
Right?
really just trying. I'm really
You're at
just
a point-
trying to cut that off.
Yeah, I know you are, dude. I know. Right? You're at a point where you really need to go, visceral terms, balls deep into ritual, ceremony, and healing, right? That's what you need to do to cut out all of the outside noise, because that truth-ometer that you're looking for, that's inside you. You just need to make sure that you believe in yourself first and foremost. And you do that by actually doing the work and getting the benefits from the work over a long period of time. All right? It's a process, but you're not there yet. You're not there to even start that stuff. And not because you're not ready as a human being or as a spiritual being, but because of the situation that you're in. So right now, the greatest thing you can do for your spiritual growth is to begin to come back into society. Now, brother, I'm not going to say too much of my position, okay? But I was in exactly the same position as you, but a lot worse, okay? All right? All this other things going on around me. And I thought it's going to be impossible for me to get back into society. It's going to, but I'll tell you what, one little step at a time, and it happened in about 10 months. Everything from the point of having nothing behind me, as in, any documentation or anything like that, and the ability to open a bank account or anything, to having all that stuff, credit card, traveling around the world, doing all this stuff, in months. It is possible, because, that's where your spiritual growth, your spiritual focus should be at. It's like creating the environment where you can actually do the work you need to grow. You're at that point. Because when I look into you, right, when I read into you, I actually see a lot of potential in your crown. Okay, more than what I do the average people when I'm looking into the potentials, and I see it there. And you really are just wasting yourself away, just thinking about bullshit that doesn't even matter. It's a waste, man. It's a waste of your potential.
When was the last time you had a girlfriend, Jordan?
Yeah.
Currently, Cece sitting in the other room right now.
Oh, cool. How long have you been together for?
5 years, since right about the start of this.
Beautiful. Great work.
Yeah.
Great work, my friend.
Can't go any further with that now.
Hence the reason he's smiling and not depressed. Yeah. He's in a situation he's in, but he's smiling. Okay, that's what you ladies do to us. Yeah.
So how would that work for you if you both found roots somewhere?
That would obviously be a start in the right direction. I've felt this calling for a long time. It's physically challenging in the real world sense. Had a situation where my identity was stolen around 2019, and I've worked with lawyers in the what we call the Social Security office to get regular documentation and stuff. I don't even have what we need, a Social Security number. My driver's license is valid technically, but I haven't had an updated ID since 2019. Weird synchronicities that I can't really even explain how they got into my experience.
It's like the universe said, "You want to be a nomad? We'll really make you a nomad."
In that case, you have to begin. You have to begin properly for the practice that you do. I'm not suggesting abandon all practice. You need to get out of this position, but now you've uncovered another layer before that layer. I can't even do that preliminary action because of this layer. Man, this is like yourself cursed or something. This comes down to spell binding. It comes down to the revocations, and for you to hit it from all angles. Is it an ancestral curse? Is it this curse? Is it that curse? Am I cursing myself? Where is this coming from? Is it the system itself? And therefore, instead of just looking around and saying, well, I'll do this today, I'll do that today, you structure something. It's like, right, I'm going to attack whatever the fuck this is, get to the bottom of it, hit it over and over and over and over again until you see gaps in the hologram. Push yourself forward, because you need that stuff. You need your social security number, man. Otherwise, you're going to be a homeless bum. What makes you any different to them?
Correct.
That's it, man. You can't be that. You weren't here to be that.
No. You are happy.
I hope it doesn't sound so harsh, man, but it's the truth. It's like you really, really, honestly need to focus all of your attention on whatever the starting point is, and use your mastery on that. And then by the time you get up and you find that you've got to the point where you've got a social security number, or then you've even got a job, you'll be working for the man, but you'll have had this process that was led through your prayer, through all of your efforts that led you up to that point. And that'll be the proudest fucking job you've ever had. I'll tell you that now. You'll walk in there, it doesn't matter. Even blue collar, doesn't matter, all right? You're earning that money and you got there through all that hard work. You've got to have this, man.
Mhm.
You need it in your life. You need it.
And I'm ready. I often tell myself through prayer, I am ready to be ready. Whatever it is. I feel I've always questioned whether this was ancestral or cursing or something outside affecting me. I'm not entirely sure where it stems from.
But that takes away from responsibility as well,
Yes.
man.
Of
You know, you've got
choices.
you've got to understand, right? The only difference between somebody who is planning, somebody who's whatever, and somebody who's actually achieved it is the actions that they took.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
that's the only differential point between not doing it and doing it.
I suppose I've just been worried about which steps were the steps I should be taking.
Those ones you've just discussed, man. Absolutely. You need a social security number. You need this, you need that, you need that, you need the job. And then you're the same as the lady before, but she was in a real hard case depression. I don't see that real depression in you. All right. It's
Jordan,
go ahead, Gal.
what was it like for you as you grew up, like around about the age of 14, growing up?
That was one of the harder spots. That was a quite depressing time in my life. Uniquely, I started life going to a church group, an evangelistic style community. And I was in that with my parents till I was around 8 or 9 years old. And then they divorced. We stopped doing that sort of thing. And it wasn't until I was 11 or 12 years old before I started realizing what, like mainstream pop culture was and music on the radio was, and other than the church life stuff. And around 14, it was just puberty and crazy chasing after girls and trying to, just fit in a world that seemed very chaotic around me. My parents were in and out of jobs. We were moving from one house to the next, so we couldn't keep the bills on at one house.
So
A lot of different things.
Yeah, so as I'm picking up, you grew up too fast. So when you hit 14, you decide everything just got super serious going on in your life. There was worry about bills where you shouldn't have been worrying about bills. So as you grew to the puberty stage after that, your inner child is really needing to be nurtured at the moment. And as I speak to the grandmothers, that was the first thing they were talking about, allowing yourself to feel the innocence of who you are again and how important that innocence is going to heal you beyond words, and allowing yourself to have true inner child time where you're going back to that 13 to 14-year-old self. You're fortifying him with so much love and going, I'm here for you. I'm not growing up too fast anymore. I'm allowing myself to have the childhood I was never given, because there was a part of you which grew up so fucking quick that it damaged you when you were 14 to 15. What was going on in your life, I just see it completely hurting you. And there's going to be a point where you're going to have to go back to that 14-year-old, 15-year-old in a state of love and say, I'm giving you this innocence back. It was hard for you what went on with the parents. It's hard for you with the bills and so on. I'm now giving you this childhood I never had, because that's something you're really needing to explore, which is going to give you such high frequency, is allowing your inner child to come in, allowing to be playful, allowing that as part of your process. Do those words resonate with you, Jordan?
Yes, I've done a lot of that on an emotional level, but I think there are deeper layers that still need heavily addressed.
I have a question about what Dale just said about the 14, 15-year-old. When did this happy-go-lucky feeling come in? Do you use it sometimes as a wall? If I'm making sense, do you put this up so others can't see? Because I think I understand.
It could be a form
piece.
of a masking, depending on the situation. Yes, I could say that I've caught myself doing that. In general, though, this is more just a truer version of myself that I've helped survive through all this. This is a version of me, or at least part of me, that's always been here since birth.
Okay, so is it a survival type? I don't know, guys. I'm
only
sure
if I was in a socially awkward situation where I felt like I needed to, smile and laugh to get out of the room or something like that. Other than that, no, this is pretty genuine, normal.
Yeah. I didn't mean to take away from your genuine. No, I did not. I know it's in there, but it's almost, there's something that I'm just feeling about some kind of a wall, like walls you may put up around you. Like, I'm not working for corporate. That's out of the question. Things like that, things that you're really definitely, I'm not doing that. to me, that kind of puts up, feels like a wall up, not
Well,
even
it's limiting.
with no potentials.
I suppose at one point I had a list of things I wouldn't do. I wouldn't listen to this type of music. I wouldn't go to these types of places. I wouldn't hang out with this type of person. All just for feeling's sake. I was naturally just feeling where I was happiest.
So that wall, what Amy talked about, it's going to be vitally important for you to smash it down with a sledgehammer. And when you smash that wall down, have a ceremony, a rites of passage ceremony, where you're becoming the true man you're meant to become, where you're able to be grounded, you're able to have roots, you're able to be responsible. So in 5 years' time, you're still in the same place, you're giving ancestral offerings, because that's what you need at the moment. You need structure and you need a rites of passage, and the next rites of passage come. But for you, like Amy said, there is a wall around you, and you completely need to shatter it just to allow this new you to come in. And this new you is ready to grow, ready to be grounded, have a relationship, which is great. You've been together for 5 years. Just imagine yourself 5 years from now in a place where you're stable, the bills are fine, everything's good, you've got a job, you've got good income. That's someone you need to look to in the future for inspiration, because that's what you need to become, a man again. I'm not saying you're not a man in any way, but I just mean the responsibility values of the rites of passage of becoming that, like I was so ungrounded.
And me.
Yeah, like and loads of people out there. You have to go through your rites of passage and start being responsible now. That's your ancestral responsibility, is to have structure, have groundedness, beat the family curse, beat your own curse you've put on yourself by saying, fuck you all. I'm going to earn this shit.
Fuck you all, I've built a wall. And that wall that you, and that wall, that trust me, again, this is wisdom learned and earned from me, brother. That wall comes down one brick at a time. You can't just shatter the thing. One brick at a time. And each one of those bricks is a success in your life. Victory. No matter how small. One victory, brick comes off, you know? And
I got a lot of bricks missing already. Some that are sticking.
You've done stuff already.
Yeah. I'm still only about halfway down my wall.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't worry about corporate, because, you know, you've been listening to Andrew for as long as we have. Right. So you know that your freedom you want, your sovereignty is in your heart anyway, wherever you are, whatever company you're working for.
Yes.
The freedom you want is already within you, and you've earned that. It's a rites of passage that you have. You just have to remember you have that. And it's, again, not arguing for your limitations about not working for a company. If that's going to pay and that's going to keep you in one place, then maybe that's what you need for this moment in time.
Yeah, and bring your happy-go-lucky self there.
It's pure logic, brother. It's pure logic,
it
really,
is
isn't
logic
it? You know?
about this. Yeah.
And uncover, I just have this feeling of like, uncover the mystical life within you.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's in there. And a lot of people, even yourself, have not seen it. Even though we see the happy-go-lucky, there's this mystical, I don't know what it feels like. It feels like a big fire. I don't know, make a big fire. And just talk and know thyself. Do you really know thyself? That's another question to me. Do you? There's layers and layers and layers of yourself.
Yeah, the greater layers of the self. That's what I was about to say, Amy. You know, have you done? You must, because you've been into this for a while. Have you done the heart meditation?
Not sure. I don't think so.
So the advanced heart meditation, and this goes for anybody out there who's into Andrew and says they're one of Andrew's students, right? If you haven't done that 1,000 times, right, you are not practicing properly, okay? And I mean, even 50 times, right, for anybody out there who's new, right? That teaches you about the DNA skin suit. You get into the body. It teaches you how to use it as a programmable skin suit of awareness. It gives you the connection to the heart, the connection to the fetus, and all of this stuff that will explain to you what practice is, what true spirituality looks like. Okay, it's all there, man. It's free. If you sign up to his email list, it's the first one that you get. This is what you want to be doing, and you want to be doing that every day. 5 days a week for weeks on end, and then and you put the revocations into your bone marrow. You once a month you have a fire ceremony somehow. You can do them indoor and outdoor. There's no excuses. We've talked about all this kind of stuff over and over again. There's so many different things that you can do that don't take a lot of time, but will give you back so much spiritual energy. And then you complement that with the other choices that you make. You're at that point where you've just got to do. You really are, because right now you're as limited as you could possibly be, backed into a corner. You know,
A little bit.
Yeah.
And
Do
can I-
do in one place.
Yeah, until the brick shatters, and then you go to the next place. Do, bang, the brick shatters.
Yeah.
No, I mean, seriously, man.
I know.
This is what I'm doing.
Can I suggest also
It's
the
been my life.
Shaman's Death? The Shaman's Death is my favorite.
Yeah.
Of
Any of
Andrew.
them.
Okay.
It is.
Any of them.
It is not a long one, but it is a beautiful one. And if you have a drum or any kind of rattle, I would play that over and over as I said it out loud.
I'll make one.
Yeah, exactly. A rattle.
Yes.
Anything.
And what you'll notice excuse me, guys, what you'll notice when you begin to do this, the recording and listening back to yourself, is you will actually hear those programs of limitation in yourself. You'll hear it in your voice. You'll catch it when you're listening just back to your own voice, saying it's a meditation to you. Okay, you can put in any bits of music that you want. You can change the prayers around. When it comes to the bone marrow programming, you can pause it and then put whatever you want out of life into the bone marrow, and then continue on with the meditation. Right? You can pause it and do the revocations, any one of them, the shaman's death. There's so many things that you can do. You know, you just actually need to do. All right, and all of those revocations, all of them teach the power of prayer. It teaches the way for that spontaneous prayer to arrive. But for you, it's about do. I know I digressed there from my original point, but you know, for you, it is about do, because you've been listening, but you're more of a cheerleader.
Yes. That was just about a fear, just making sure I was in the right crowd with the right people.
Yeah. And what you said initially at the beginning, you want to find your tribe, you want to find them. Well, you've got to start beating that drum, man. I mean, that metaphorically and literally. You know, you've got to be doing the work.
Okay.
And I highly recommend you make the effort to know yourself even deeper and deeper, and know your story. And Andrew talks about the great talking to the fire, where you're talking your stories for the first memory, slowly taking your time to allow yourself to know thy story, because that's going to give you understanding about the life and the cycle you go through, the patterns you go through. You need to hear all of your story, the trials and tribulations you went through, because that's going to innately grow you and give you even more of a rites of passage onto the next layer of knowingness. So knowing yourself is going to be vitally important. And going back to what I said at the start, I asked you to speak to yourself inwards because I knew you couldn't do it. And at the start, you couldn't listen to yourself because there was so many things crossing over with each other. So it's going to take time. Go to this ancestral fire. Call to your ancestors saying, I'm now ready to remember my story as my dedication as an ancestor, and start reading out your story, start recording your story so you know all about who you are. Then from there, make the new start into the dedication to the practice, dedication to the self, not allowing yourself to watch so much YouTube and all of this and that, and take time out for yourself each day, 6 days a week. Because it's now the reason why you're on this call is so you can stop avoiding it now, and you can start living, like we said at the start, those roots, man. Get those roots in you.
I don't know why I have to ask you this question, but I feel like I need to ask you. But do you trust your intuition?
50%. I thought often that it may not be me in there sometimes.
Can you start trusting it without questioning it?
I'm working on that more and more. That's one of the main goals. Yes.
You've got to deprogram it first.
Yeah.
Okay? Deprogram it and reprogramming it. That's what we're talking about here. That's what all of this is about. It's about, you know, those old ways of thought, and the beauty again of listening back to the revocations as you play them. You'll hear the subtle tones in your voice, and then you aim to change it the next time. You need to attack yourself from all angles. Listen to your voice. Listen to your arguments for limitations. You know, just like Amy is saying, you know, you won't be able to have clarity until you create clarity. And that comes in layers and layers, right, guys?
Yeah.
We all get hoodwinked, right? We all get hoodwinked.
Yeah, you do. Wow.
So Laura, are you going to give him a prayer about finding himself again? Putting you on the spot, because I really liked the prayer before you did.
Oh, did you?
And a lot of people are saying in the chat how they enjoyed it.
Okay. All right, then. Okay, Jason. You'll be good at this. I, in the ever-present moment.
I, in the ever-present moment.
As this divine masculine walking this earth.
As this divine masculine walking this earth.
Know that I am learning to trust myself.
Know that I am learning to trust myself.
To trust my heart discerning choices.
to trust my heart discerning choices.
I know that I have done plenty of research.
I know I've done plenty of research.
I've been self-teaching.
I've been self-teaching.
And I've been moving around.
And I've been moving around.
In the search of myself.
In search of myself.
And now I know.
Now I know.
That it's time to settle down and find roots in one spot.
It is time to settle down and plant these roots in one spot.
And I know with this action.
I know with this action.
That I will be able to give myself better heart connection.
I will be able to give myself better heart connection.
I'll be able to slow down.
I'll be able to slow down.
And I will be able to connect to the ancestors.
I will be able to connect to the ancestors.
In a way that will nourish my soul.
In a way that will nourish my soul.
Allow exchange of wisdom.
Allow exchange of wisdom.
And allow me to express my pure divine self.
And allow me to express my pure divine self.
And I will make this promise to myself.
I will make this promise to myself.
That I will stop the YouTube, what does Andrew call it, guys? The instant gratification.
YouTube University.
Yeah, I will stop the YouTube University education.
I will stop the YouTube University education
and find that's it, and find the education of my own heart.
And find the education of my own heart.
So that is where my truth lies.
That is where my truth lies.
And it's only my truth that matters to me at this moment in time.
And it is only my truth that matters to me in this moment in time.
Oh.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, I've been off the YouTube education tutorial for a while now.
Oh, okay. Well done.
Brilliant.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
But
okay.
That was something I was just always looking everywhere to see what was what. And I always come back to this group and to Andrew because it was the only thing that really felt right.
It resonates with you, doesn't it? Yeah.
I'd like to do something if I may. Can I get him to read a revocation?
Please.
All right, buddy.
Should I repeat with you?
Yeah, repeat after me. Okay, now, look. Just like the first caller, it's about how do you go from the microvolts to the macrovolts, you know? What does in a journey actually look like for you? Because you've got to generate so much light, okay, that you've got to see the bigger picture of all of this and what source connection truly is and what you are as a being and the power that you have to say no to anything that's coming at you and then make choices that are based in wisdom, make empowered choices. But you've got to do it, man. You've got to grab it, okay? So this is a revocation I've written, which is for ancestral revocation. It's to remove ancestral energies from your field. And it's using the very familiar language that you'll be familiar with. And, you know, this is just, I want you to really mean these words. Really enter into that high frequency and actually produce the words that you're speaking in your unseen world, okay? Okay. I, in this ever-present moment of the now, acknowledge that I have a choice.
I, in this ever-present moment of the now, acknowledge that I have a choice.
Only I can make this choice.
Only I can make this choice.
Only I can reclaim my divine free will.
Only I can reclaim my divine free will.
As I move into the next stage of my journey, I must accept that I will change.
As I move into the next stages of my journey, I accept that's what I will change.
Once I've created my sacred boundaries, it will be my responsibility to upkeep them.
It'll be my responsibility to upkeep them.
Through choice.
Discipline.
And the courage and commitment it takes to actually do the work.
And the courage and the commitment that it actually takes to do this work.
I, in this ever-present moment of the now.
I, in this ever-present moment of the now.
And all ever-present moments of now.
And all ever-present moments of now.
Forwards and backwards through time.
Forwards and backwards through time.
I open a multi-layered, multi-dimensional spiritual court of equity.
I open a multi-layered, multi-dimensional spiritual court of equity.
Right. I want you to raise that frequency more. Let go, man. This spiritual court of equity extends to my 7 previous and 7 future generations.
This spiritual court of equity extends to my 7 previous and 7 future generations.
Of myself and my DNA lineage.
Of myself and my DNA lineage.
This spiritual court of equity is ever present.
This spiritual court of equity is ever present.
Always with me.
Always with me.
Always has been.
Always has been.
And always will be.
And always will be.
I bring this spiritual court of equity into each and every sacred moment I'm about to have.
I bring this spiritual court of equity into every sacred moment I'm about to have.
Every ceremonial fire.
Every ceremonial fire.
Every meditation.
Every meditation.
Ritual.
Every ritual.
Dream.
Every dream.
Act of self-love.
Act of self-love.
Act of self-defeat.
Act of self-defeat.
Every prayer.
Every prayer.
Tear.
Every tear.
Success.
Every success.
Failure.
Every failure.
Every choice and every action.
Every choice and every action.
Every word and every thought.
Every word and every thought.
Every footstep and each and every beat of my heart.
Every footstep and each and every beat of my heart.
Every single moment of my healing journey is protected and held sacred.
Every single moment of my healing journey is sacred and protected.
In this spiritual court of equity.
In this spiritual court of equity.
I call to the fetus in my mother's womb.
I call to the fetus in my mother's womb.
Myself in my infinite expression.
Myself in my infinite expression.
Planning this lifetime.
Planning this lifetime.
Through the fetus in the womb process of light manifestation.
Through the fetus and womb process of light manifestation.
I call to Earth Mother.
I call out to Earth Mother.
The 7th dimensional galactic seed planet of ancient and future legends.
The 7th dimensional galactic seed planet of ancient and future dimensions.
Legends.
Legends.
She who dreams us all.
She who dreams us all.
Our celestial sister.
Our celestial sister.
I love you.
I love you.
Occupy this spiritual court of equity.
Occupy this spiritual court of equity.
And assist me to find peace through ancestral balancing.
Assist me to find peace through ancestral balancing.
I call to my ancestors, past, present, and future.
I call to my ancestors, past, present, and future.
And to my DNA lineage ancestors.
And to my DNA lineage ancestors.
Past, present, and future.
Past, present, and future.
Those who come in equal co-creation, non-competition, and non-hierarchical order with me.
Those who come into
equal
non-competition,
equal co-creation,
equal co-creation, in non-competition, in non-hierarchical order.
With me.
With me.
Those that are a signature frequency match for peace.
Those who are a signature frequency match of peace.
And the common moral code of do no harm.
And the common moral code of do no harm.
I call to you with love.
I call to you with love.
Come into my permanently running spiritual court of equity.
Come into my permanently running spiritual court of equity.
As sacred neutral witness.
As sacred neutral witness.
Thank you for all that you are.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you are.
For all that you have been.
For all that you have been.
And will be.
And will be.
I offer this declaration of free will.
I offer this declaration of free will.
As a gift of wisdom and healing.
As a gift of wisdom and healing.
From the red to the blue road.
From the red to the blue road.
So we may all heal and find resolution.
So we may all heal and find resolution.
I call to the 5 elements of Earth Mother's realm.
I call to the 5 elements of Earth Mother's realm.
Earth, air, fire, water, and ether.
Earth, air, fire, water, and ether.
The original ancestors of Earth.
The original ancestors of Earth.
I call you forth into my spiritual court of equity.
I call you forth into my spiritual court of equity.
I call to the 7 directions.
I call to the 7 directions.
Of north, east, south, and west.
North, east, south, and west.
Above, below, and within.
Above, below, and within.
Come protect my medicine space and all medicine spaces I co-create with.
Come protect my medicine space and all medicine spaces I co-create with.
I call to my celestial guides, guardians, and angels.
I call to my celestial guides, guardians, and angels.
Dragons.
Dragons.
And all other expressions of celestial sources.
and all other expressions of celestial sources,
who have co-created with me for all of my eternal births.
who have co-created with me in all of my eternal births.
I honor your presence.
I honor your presence.
And I call you into this permanently running spiritual court of equity.
And I call you into this permanently running spiritual court of equity.
I call to my higher self.
I call to my higher self.
My highest soul spark.
My highest source mark.
And all of my unseen world of energy exchangement.
And all of my unseen world of energy exchangement.
I call to Grandfather Sun.
I call to Grandfather Sun.
And I connect to the solar spiritual courts of equity.
And I connect to the solar spiritual courts of equity.
I call to the galactic central sun of our galaxy.
I call to the galactic central sun of our galaxy.
And connect to the galactic solar spiritual court of equity.
And connect to the galactic solar spiritual court of equity.
I call to the universal great central sun.
I call to the universal great central sun.
To the universal spiritual court of equity.
To the universal spiritual court of equity.
I bring these solar spiritual courts of equity.
I bring these solar spiritual courts of equity
into my permanently running spiritual courts of equity.
Into my permanently running spiritual court of equity.
And I make them ever present.
I make them ever present.
I call to the fetus in the womb of creation.
I call to the fetus in the womb of creation.
I call to your infinite wisdom.
I call to your infinite wisdom.
And I connect you to my infinite fetus.
I connect you to my infinite fetus.
That is dreaming this dream of life walk.
That is dreaming this dream of life walk.
I call to source itself.
I call to source itself.
I direct your gaze upon this being of the now here on earth.
I direct your gaze to this being of the now right here on earth.
As I begin to learn how to truly empower myself.
As I begin to truly learn how to empower myself.
Seen and unseen.
Seen and unseen.
With infinite source connection.
With infinite source connection.
I call to Great Spirit, who lives within great mystery.
I call to Great Spirit, who lives within great mystery.
You who is the source of sources.
You who is the source of sources.
I call to you in this moment.
I call to you in this moment.
Of infinite potential as a sacred being on a sacred journey of life.
Of an infinite being.
Of infinite potential.
Of infinite potential.
As a sacred being.
As a sacred being.
On a sacred journey of life.
On a sacred journey of life.
Now, I'm going to pause you there for a minute. I know this is long, okay? And I did this for a reason, okay? This is about making that effort, getting those big volts and pushing through. I make this moment a standing moment in time and no time.
I make this moment a standing moment in time and in no time.
An infinitely wide, omnidimensional broadcast.
An infinitely wide, omnidimensional broadcast.
To all ancestral beings, sentiences and collectives.
To all ancestral beings, sentients and collectives.
And celestial sources.
And celestial sources.
Past, present and future.
Past, present and future.
Throughout all realities, timelines, time streams.
Throughout all realities, all timelines, time streams.
Dimensions, galaxies and universes.
All dimensions, galaxies and all universes.
That are negatively affecting this I am being.
That are negatively affecting this I am being.
And my 7 future and 7 previous generations of myself.
My 7 future and 7 previous generations of the self, myself.
And my DNA lineage.
And my DNA lineage.
You are immediately summoned into this spiritual court of equity.
You are immediately summoned into this spiritual court of equity.
You do not operate as a signature frequency match for equal co-creation.
You do not operate as a signature match for equal co-creation.
Non-competition and a non-hierarchical order.
Non-competition, non-hierarchical order.
I remove you from my entire unseen world of energy exchangement.
I remove you from my entire unseen world of energy exchangement.
Forwards and backwards through time.
Forwards and backwards through time.
And I audit you now for all actions committed against this I am being.
And I order you now for all actions committed against this I am being.
That's right. So I audit you now for all actions committed against this I am being. Okay. You are observed by the entirety of this permanently running.
You are being observed by this entirety of this permanently running spiritual court of equity.
Multidimensional.
Multidimensional.
Multidirectional.
Multidirectional.
multi-universal,
multi-universal,
spiritual court of alchemical equity.
spiritual court of alchemical equity.
So you are exposed to the wholeness of all universes.
You are exposed to the wholeness of all universes
In infinite degrees of separation.
in infinite degrees of separation.
I break all contracts, vows, and agreements.
I break all contracts, all vows, and all agreements
With you throughout all time-space equations.
with you throughout all time-space equations
In which I exist or coexist.
in which I exist or coexist,
That were made in awareness or unawareness.
that were made in awareness or unawareness,
Free-willed or non-free-willed.
free-willed or non-free-willed,
Consented.
consented,
Non-consented or tacit consented.
non-consented or tacit consented.
Raise the frequency, man. Raise the frequency. I remove myself from your awareness as if I never existed to you.
I remove myself from your awareness as if I never existed to you in any form.
All ancestral curses,
All ancestral curses,
spells and magic,
spells, and magic
projected or subjected upon me,
projected or subjected upon me,
are hereby ceased
I hereby ceased
and sent back to the original sources of casting.
and sent back to the original sources of casting.
All ancestral debt is hereby revoked
All ancestral debt is hereby revoked
and brought to zero balance,
and brought to zero balance.
as I no longer hold the debt of others.
I no longer hold the debt of others.
This is my divine sovereign free will choice to say no more.
This is my divine sovereign free will choice to say no more.
Oh yeah. All energy taken from me during these processes
All energy taken from me during these processes
is now cleaned,
is now cleaned,
cleansed and empowered
cleansed, empowered
by the celestial sources present in this spiritual court of equity
by the celestial sources present in the spiritual court of equity,
and given back to me now
given back to me now
as life force,
as life force,
inspiration,
inspiration,
creation,
creation,
and dreams.
and dreams.
All energies I have taken on
All energies I have taken on
are hereby removed from the entirety of my seen and unseen worlds
are hereby removed from the entirety of my seen and unseen worlds,
and returned to their source
returned to their source
with no charge attached
with no charge attached,
and none of my signature frequency of light.
none of my signature frequency of light.
With this action, I bring myself to zero balance minus infinity.
With this action, I bring myself to zero balance minus infinity.
I choose to be a match for peace.
I choose to be a match for peace.
I choose equal co-creation, non-competition, and non-hierarchical order.
I choose non-competition, equal co-creation, and non-hierarchical order
As my mediative means
as my mediative means
for all interactions with all ancestral beings going forth.
for all actions and
For all interactions
for all interactions with all
With all-
ancestral beings moving forward.
Lovely. I am the mighty I am presence,
I am the mighty I am presence,
the apex of my DNA and ancestry lineage.
the apex of my DNA and ancestry lineage.
Manifest on earth at the great Dreamtime awakening and remembering.
Manifest here on earth, the great Dreamtime awakening
And remembering.
and remembering.
I declare
I declare
that I am ready to accept my new mantle of responsibility
I am ready to accept my new mantle of responsibility.
and claim my birthright and legacy,
I claim my birthright and my legacy
to be free of negative ancestral energies
to be free of negative ancestral energies
and all violations of my divine free will,
and all violations of my divine free will,
to be a fully sovereign being.
to be a fully sovereign being.
I enact free will now,
I enact free will now,
in this moment,
in this moment,
and all ever-present moments to come.
all ever-present moments to come.
And so it is.
So it is.
I ask the ancestors to honor this declaration,
I ask the ancestors to honor this declaration,
broadcast an act of my free will,
broadcast and activate my free will,
and enter it into the Earth Akashic records.
Enter it into the Earth Akashic records.
For all sentient kind to know.
For all sentient kind to know.
Freedom comes with the use of free will at all times.
Freedom comes with the use of free will at all times.
Oh.
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 Yeah.
So how did that feel to push through to a new level?
Yes.
It's about effort, man. And that's what everybody's lacking these days, honestly. Life is difficult. But when you take it one step at a time and one step at a time, one step at a time, and you have all of that prayer and stuff behind you as you go along that journey, it just becomes this cacophony of a beautiful evolution. You know, and it doesn't matter how difficult it is. None of us really look back and regret everything, do we?
No regrets, just lessons.
Exactly.
Experience.
There's no shame, man. No blame, no guilt. Past versions of ourselves are past versions of ourselves. That's what they are.
Right.
Wow.
Awesome,
Whoa.
Matty.
Wow.
Great
That was
way to
great.
start the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Go-
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Now
you.
go have a
George.
big fire.
Yes.
Go have a big
Yes.
fire.
Yes,
Go
I'm
grow
not
your
far away.
roots.
I will make that my next
Get
prize.
those roots down.
Get those
Great.
roots.
Wow.
Create an oak tree inside yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Thank you
identify
so
with
much
the
for-
oak wood a lot. I play with it and craft things out of oak when I can.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, there
Oak's
you
my
go.
favourite. Oak and birch, they're my two absolute favourites.
Nice.
There you go.
Thank you so much
Fabulous.
for calling in, Jordan.
Yeah. Thank you,
It was a
Jordan.
pleasure, and hope to do it again sometime.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you've been a
Part of the
great
community,
guest.
and so going to be doing whatever we can together.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
let's have this, and 5-6 months from now, we'll get you back on, and we'll see where you're at. And we want to see those roots grounded.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to see,
We've set you a
we want to
task.
see some social
Okay.
security numbers and all sorts.
Yeah.
Bank accounts.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Lovely.
Take care. Thank you.
Wow, what a show!
Wow,
guys.
wow.
Beautiful.
What a show!
Wow.
So, let's wrap up the show. And Laura, how can people get a hold of you?
I'm at twofeathersmedicine.com. And also, Laura, twofeathers@gmail.com. We've still got some places left for York for our combined therapy. If anybody's interested, you can email me, or you can look on our website or Andrew's website if you want to see what we're doing there. It's going to be a very exciting, I think we're there about 8 days or longer. So if you're interested in coming and trying these combined healings, and there's plenty of fabulous results and fabulous reviews we've got out there, read those and come and see us. We'll be there in York. And thanks for a great show, guys.
Thank you, Laura. Amy?
Thank you. Hey, okay, so I have a show that's called Unscripted, and I work with David Ellis with it, and it's just my show though, but he's like behind the scenes. He helps me with it.
He's the AI guy.
He's the,
Yeah.
he's the
Literally
AI
the
guy.
AI guy.
He's a great guy.
David Ellis' AI.
Yes, yeah. So it's a show where guests can come on. Any of you who want to have the pleasure of being a guest, and I ask you a question from my little question box, and we just chat about it. And it's really fun. It's 20 minutes, and that's it. So if you would like to be a guest, just message me on Facebook Messenger. Thank you for the show, Maddie. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful show, everybody.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthias.
Okay, guys, so if you want to get hold of me, I do private sessions. So I'm a psychic surgeon. I use all different kinds of tools and techniques in my private sessions. Just come and experience it, man. It's a very different process to anything you're used to.
It is.
Yep, so you can go to twofeathersmedicine.com. Just click on my name, and there'll be a link there for you to email me.
So if you'd like any soul surgery with myself, head over to daletobin.com. I'm also going to be doing some mentoring at some point, which I'm going to be setting up for those who want to have a longer experience. I just want to say again, thank you everyone for listening, tuning in. And if you're on Rumble or YouTube, wherever you are, please drop a like, please drop a comment, please subscribe, because it does mean a lot. And Amy, Matty, and Laura, I appreciate you guys and love you guys. And this is it. This is a dedication to the self, guys. What can you do now? What's your next step?
Effort, guys. That's what it's all about. Effort, actually doing the work.
Courage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
So
Dale.
thank you, everyone, for watching the show. Aho, mofos.
Like and subscribe.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, everybody in the comment
please
section.
do. Thank you.
Thank you.